Hey, what's going on, my good people? Welcome back to another edition of Nani episode. We discuss the anime that we're currently watching right now. I'm your host, Knuckles, aka Lazy Man Video Games. Lazy Man Video Games. And today we're going to be talking about Fire Force Season 3, Episode 2. And this one was definitely, was basically like a build up into the Squad 8 saving Captain Obi, right? And the start of the episode, we see an adult link between um dang man, I forgot the main character's name right there. Captain Burns and Sheena right there. Pretty much like, Senio, better save Obi, like pretty much worrying about Captain Burns right there. Right? No, no. God damn, bro. I'm like mixing up everybody's name right there, but like he's basically saying, you better hurry up and save Captain Obi right there. Kind of like, luring him into a trap right there. And pretty much, Shira tells, to the lieutenant, we don't have that much time. But there was a previous years before Squad 8 was 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 created was by Captain Obi and Lieutenant how do you pronounce his name right there? I always feel bad pronouncing people's names right there. I really feel bad about it. Hinduana pretty much saying like pretty much say like I got no rest to go. I feel so squad A is like perfect for me because it's kind of like the the group of misfits pretty much right. And Captain Obi does say there are gonna be times where we're gonna have to be rebels you know, pretty much like foreshadowing, what's to come. And then, Hinmas, Lieutenant basically said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna, put my life into Squad 8 right there." It was one of those moments where we actually like smile because the lieutenant is always like, on a serious tone right there. You're like, oh god, this guy's never too serious. It's always too serious. But like, no, he was laid back and relaxed in that moment right there. He was happy to be part of Squad 8 right there, right? Fast forward, and now Squad A is on the run because, I said there's him as rebels right now. And, the whole empire is against them. The whole empire is against them, so they have to be on the run right there. And so now the only person they can really go for is Joker. And I was saying that, who was gonna help Squad 8, right? Right? And that's gonna be Joker. And they are in the underground facility right there where nobody can find them, right? And like I said, it's the Joker is the perfect solution to help them fight this problem, right? Now, I thought it was also interesting is the fact that, we see a scene between Captain Burns and the one chick from God dang man, I always hate that I forget people's names in this because Fireverse has a lot of characters right there, and I'm also always like, oh my god, what's this for the character's name? What's the character's name right there? Oh god, we'll pull this in the description box right in the below. But no, it was the one lady that was able to like kind of manipulate his mind right there. She's basically saying to Burns like, how you not agreed to what we were doing, I would pretty much like, control your mind regardless right there. So it's like, I'm already like it was almost like, as up for everybody, he's like, the way for to please God right there, this is the best solution. And honestly, like all this religion and shit in Fire Force, I'm just like, oh my god, here we go, religion right now. God this, God that. I'm like, ugh, you know, what can I say at that point right there? Like, all for the God, all for the soul God right there. And it's just like, come on, man. Like really? Like why? Like why? Like I just don't understand that, right? But like I said, not a whole lot has happened in this episode because pretty much just like I said, it was a setup right there because right now the White Clad plans on putting an insect in the Captain Obi right there. And combustion right there, that's not a good thing right there. So we pretty much have, Joker and Shinra on his way to save him, right? And what's very interesting is that what Joker said is that, being in the darkness, I can see, the good and evil. And he said that the Empire needs you and Captain Obi. They know like we need you to in order for the Empire to succeed right there. He's like I said, he was like Joker is not Joker is an anti-hero, right? But like he knows that what's good for the people is basically Squad A right there. Mainly more Shinra and Captain Obi right there. And I respect, like I said, he's not the one, the be all, the grand hero right there, but like he's like I said, he's the anti-hero. And he, like I said, he sees the good in, both Obi and Sheena right there. So I said, I was part of the White Cut. I see what they can do. And the Empire does not need that. The Empire needs you guys right there. And pretty much telling me, yo, this is where the true fight begins. This is where the true fight begins right there. Like I said, this episode was basically like a setup to like what's gonna happen in this season. Which basically, I actually just saw on Instagram that excuse me, that this season's gonna be only 12 episodes. Because like I said, all total is gonna be 24 in the season. But remember, this is part one. And part two is going to be at the beginning of 2026. So I'm expecting we're going to get like a cliffhanger type of ending right there at the end of part one right there. But yeah, like I said, this is this is a bit we're set up for the big fights right there in a way right there. I said we gotta save Captain Obi, and I expect the fact that they're gonna go like outside the law to protect to save their captain right there, and I love it. I really love it. But hopefully they can save him before the white clad injects that insect them, because if they do, I don't know how it's gonna work right there. I really don't know. But like I said, nice little episode right there. I like the fact that, like I said, that Joker is like he knows what a true hero is right there. Like not to say that he is a true hero, but him living in the shadows, he sees everything, and he knows that the Empire is better to have Shinra and Obi there for him, not the White Cloud. You guys are the true heroes. Fuck the White Cloud, pretty much right there. But I said, post Joker right there, and I'm happy to see Joker in the season. I mean, we're gonna see him regardless right there, but like, I can't wait to see his fight right there because his fight with the White Cloud, last season was pretty cool right there. So I'm excited to see what twisted fights he's gonna be doing right there. So yeah. Can't wait. But as always, folks, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe to part of Knuckles family. Like I said, this was a quick episode. It's like like hyping up the main, like the big fight, the big picture, the main story right there. So like I said, I can't wait. I'm excited. But like I said, let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, subscribe, like, share the video, and be sure to follow my social media accounts in the description box below. And always remember what J. Cole said, everybody. There's no such thing as a life better than yours. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.